Hi, this is Congressman Tom Cole, 4th District of Oklahoma. This is another one of our congressional chats. It's been a little while since we've had an opportunity to visit, largely because Congress was out of session in August, but that doesn't mean we didn't have a busy August. I began August, honestly, with a trip with a number of my fellow appropriators, a bipartisan delegation to the Eastern Mediterranean. Pretty tense spot, given all the activity involving Israel, various groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, changes in Syria. We were focused largely on the American military presence in the Eastern Mediterranean. So we went to Italy and visited Sigonella, which is a huge American military support facility in Sicily. And out of there we fly like P-8s, which track Russian submarines. They have multiple air missions there. It's just an extraordinarily important facility, and one, honestly, that we get a great deal of help from our friends, the Italians, who are, of course, NATO allies, and we've flown lots of missions out of there over the years. But now focus is primarily looking into Africa, but looking also to the Eastern Mediterranean. Then later in the trip, we also went to Greece, and we visited what's called Suda Bay, which is a big, again, American naval support facility on Crete. Again, we have an extraordinarily close cooperative relationship with our friends, the Greeks, who are, of course, allies as well, and close NATO partners. Out of Suda Bay, it has the only port that actually can accommodate an American aircraft carrier at pier side, so you don't have to ferry things out to the ship and whatever. It's a large refueling area. It's an area where we store munitions, so Tomahawk missiles, various things that you need when you're involved in combat. And of course, they've played a very important role in helping some of our anti-missile frigates off the shores of Israel, helped the Israelis when the Iranians were attacking them. So again, and we then of course visited with diplomatic officials in both countries, had robust discussions about the tariffs. They're not particularly popular in Italy and Greece, especially Italy, because they think the Americans got the best of the negotiation. Something I told our Italian friends, I'm going to make sure President Trump knows that. It'll make him feel good. But no, I mean, again, these are close allies and good friends and partners of the United States. So we had very respectful and productive discussions. Great privilege, again, for me to get to go. After that was done, then it was time to get back to Oklahoma and really hit the road in terms of the district, and I did. It was all over Oklahoma City, Norman, Moore, Midwest City, did events in Ada, Davis, Purcell. So we worked throughout the district, visited a lot of businesses, talked to a lot of local chambers, local Rotary clubs, what have you. And that's a place where you get questions from your constituents. You can explain to them what's happening. I found Oklahomans largely focused on economic issues, very concerned about inflation, the economy, honestly broadly supportive of the president. Trump's always a controversial figure, but Oklahoma's a place where he's carried every single county in 3 elections in a row. And so Oklahomans are broadly supportive of his initiatives. But again, smart questions, concerns about the National Weather Center, where I was happy to be able to report, being chairman of appropriations, we've been able to protect that facility, even though there were some proposed cuts. The same thing's true. We're working pretty hard with our military bases at Fort Sill and at Tinker to make sure they have the things they need to be successful in their mission. And honestly, that we don't stumble into a government shutdowns that hampers their operations. And I'll get to that in a minute. But, largely this is what August break is for, is to travel your district, listen to your constituents, try and explain to them what's happening in Washington, and finally to listen to them what they want you to do in Washington. And again, Oklahomans are never shy about that, and found it to be a very good trip. And it's just nice to be home. Got to go to the OU kickoff game. We were successful. I'm a little less confident now that we got Michigan coming up. That's a great program, but it's going to be a great day, a great game, a great opportunity for the University of Oklahoma to show itself off on a national stage. That's going to be the game of the week or college game day locale. So we're always proud to host that. Oklahoma has a great tradition. I'm sure that our young men will do a great job on the field. Our coaching staff will do a great job. So they certainly did in the opening game, and we'll see how we do this week. Now to Congress. This has actually been a short week in Congress. First week back quite often is, but a pretty eventful week. On the Appropriations Committee, which I chair, we moved our 10th bill through the full committee. There are 12 bills that actually fund the government. We've gotten 10 of them out of committee. 2 of them, actually now 3 of them, across the floor. Before the August break, we'd gotten defense and military construction and VA. Those are pretty important bills. Together, they're almost 60% or are 60% of all federal funding. Then today we got the energy and water bill across the full floor of the House. It was a nail biter, 215 to 214, and we had to hold the vote open for a little while, but we got there. The bill's a great bill. It takes care of the nuclear triad. Most people don't realize energy, half of the money in energy and water helps maintain the U.S. nuclear stockpile. But it's also very important for energy in the broadest sense. Nuclear energy, our national labs, you name it. We're very proud of the bill. It cut spending, reduced it by about $760 million, and yet still took care of the critical mission. So very good job by our committee, and particularly the chairman there, a gentleman named Chuck Fleischman from the great state of Tennessee, one of my very best subcommittee chairmen, and a guy that delivered for us today on the floor of the House of Representatives. So we're moving. Now we're also involved in bigger talks with the United States Senate. I've had several discussions during August with my friend Senator Susan Collins from Maine. She chairs that committee. We're trying to work out a way to pass a small package of bills, get them to the president before September 30th, and then pass what's called a continuing resolution to it to buy some extra time. Otherwise, funding, we won't get all the bills done by September 30th, not because we haven't worked hard, because actually we're both on schedule to produce our bills, but because Congress has been pretty occupied. The main focus through July 4th was on the One Big Beautiful Bill, a very consequential piece of legislation, dealt with everything from tax cuts made permanent from 2017 to the president's blue collar tax cuts, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax credits to help people that are reliant primarily on Social Security for their retirement, lots of deregulation, additional money for defense, additional money for border security, additional money for overhauling the air traffic control system, which is extraordinarily important to Oklahoma since we train almost all the air traffic controllers in the United States are trained at the FAA facility in Oklahoma City, the Mike Mulroney Aeronautical Center. So again, lots happening and going on, but that's delayed the appropriations process. We're going to need a little more time, but we think we're making good progress. We should get the next 2 bills out of committee next week, and then there needs to be a larger negotiation that involves Democrats and Republicans. You can't pass appropriations bills without votes from both parties, and obviously a Republican House and a Republican Senate don't want to send a Republican president something he doesn't sign. If you don't have the president's signature on the bill, we won't be successful. So I expect the rest of September and probably some period beyond that to be taken up with discussions and negotiations that involve the White House, that involve the leadership of both parties in both chambers of Congress, as we try to work toward what would be, by definition, a grand compromise legislation. And in the House Appropriations Committee, again, which I chair, we intend to do our part to be supportive of the president's agenda, try and be fiscally responsible, but to make sure the important job of defending the country is done, that important services are funded, like our VA hospitals, our Indian health facilities, and to make sure that we find some common ground and maybe heal the country up a little bit and show that when things really matter, Democrats and Republicans can work together. I'm confident that that's an achievable objective, and that's what we're going to try and do. So, busy week this week. Going to be busy in the weeks ahead. I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to visit some more in the future. And with that, I just wish you good luck. God bless. Hope your families are safe. I look forward to our next chat.